What's poppin', y'all? Box office reunion right here. Here we go. What's up, 2021? Holy cow, it happened. It's here.
Yep.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Why Are You Laughing podcast. I am here yet again. I just want to say one thing about these two gentlemen right here, okay? We go back a long time. You know, there's certain points in your life where, you know, you have no idea what you're going to be hit with. Certain people pop up, certain things pop up. I was fortunate enough to be a part of, you know, all the tournaments, all the greatness, really, that has been a part of this podcast 100%. And the box office crew has been kind enough to let me be a part of their life. And now we're all here together again, once again. But this is Miguel's big surprise.
He's planning this the whole time.
Man, I'm so happy you're both here. It's nice to have us all together again. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Talk to me.
I'm chilling.
I'm chilling. Bought a house. Things are good.
Dude, I heard about that. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Living the dream.
Word up, dude. Yo, so let me just tell you both a story. Okay. So I'm doing my DoorDash thing, you know. I got my second job going on. You know, I'm driving around, whatever, and I pull up to D'Angelo's. Okay. I pull up to D'Angelo's, and you know, I'm messing around. I'm trying to get to my phone and confirm the order. You know how it goes. I'm looking at it, and who calls me but Brett Mac Daddy Davis?
Oh, good Lord. Hit decline.
I look at my phone. I'm like, of course I pick it up. You know, I'm a nice guy. I decided to give him a chance. You know, you guys know that. But I told him, I says, look, bro, you should come on the show tonight. Oh, I can't. I gotta go to work. I gotta. Gives me all the excuses in the world. So I just want to let you know that he ditched you and I did not.
Such a bum.
Sam, you're a real one. You're a real one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad this is happening. What's up? What's happening, y'all? Hey, listen, Ethan, Miguel started a podcast. I'm not sure if you realize that, dog.
I did. I haven't been invited on. I'm well hurt.
I haven't yet either.
But it's okay. It's about photography. It's about stuff I don't know anything about. I know the interest.
We're working it out. It
doesn't matter. You don't need to know nothing, okay? You just make up something, okay? That's how you know you're smart. You just make something up. Who cares?
No, I want to have like everyone on there, like 7 people, 8 people. Like it's gonna be.
Oh God!
I have to plan.
You ain't ready for that now.
Trust me. No, I actually, me and Miguel hooked up about the podcast or whatever. He's actually gonna have me on. I do know something about that world, so you know, it's especially with the music business and everything. I was kind of a part of that. So I'm excited to be on there and share my knowledge, but let me drop something on you right now. Okay? You want to talk about conspiracy theories? Let me just tell y'all what I've heard. Okay? So we've all watched the Super Bowl. Yes? There are some things going around about Tom Brady right now. All right? There are some things going around that are talking about how the business has become sort of a politician's sort of an environment. There have been rumors that certain individuals within the organization have pushed him towards the top. And what I mean by that is this. They've talked about how the Buccaneers, because of Brady, have been pushed to the Super Bowl to heighten ratings. To heighten ratings in such a way to keep the business alive. And I think the reason that they say that, this is not my opinion, this is just what I've heard. They've pushed him in such a way where they're trying to get ratings up because of COVID. and because they have not made the money that they would have made if it was a normal season. Now, let me get your take on that, both of you, because you and I, you guys know as well as I know, there is no way in the world you could be referee of Vladimir Putin, okay? If you blow the call, you blow the call. There's no question. You're either a good team or you're not a good team. If you don't go there guns a-blazing and you don't make the points that you need to make, there's no way in the world that you're making it to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I switch governments. There's no way. There's no physical way. If you make points, you make points. If you don't, you don't. Talk to me about this. I've heard this theory and I say there's no way. But I want to talk to the experts who actually know what they're talking about, other than me, who just hear things.
And Ethan, just to before I start anything, you're like a Tom Brady fan or no?
No,
I know you're from New Hampshire. Like,
no, I don't care.
None of that, right?
No, I'm about good football, and he's a winner. So.
Don't lie that you don't care. There's no such thing as not caring with you. I've known you for a long time. You care.
I do not care. You will not see me in a Patriots jersey on Sunday. That's not me. I have nothing Patriots related.
So I think Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay was like a crazy move, right? I don't think it was necessarily, obviously the whole NFL and all these the major sports lost tons of money from COVID, not having fans and whatnot. But I still feel like people will watch the Super Bowl if Tom Brady's not in it. I think he will still, in my opinion, I think people don't want to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, like just because he's hated so much. And I don't know why. Like people like seeing people lose, but like I like seeing people win. Like, dude, like Tom Brady, like if he wins one more, even without him winning, I was just like, he's to bring a team like that to the Super Bowl again, or first time in I think it was 14 years or something. But just first year on a new team, it's unreal, man. And then just to even not just win the Super Bowl, but literally just picked apart the entire Kansas City Chiefs defense and the high-powered offense.
Picked apart?
Yeah, dude.
He went picked apart. This man got 70 yards free on penalties. He did not pick anybody apart.
Well, my take on that is because the Chiefs, they don't play a dirty style football, but they play physical. They hold you, and they don't get a lot of calls. And they started calling them now.
Oh,
that's how I see it. But there wasn't anything that was crazy not a foul. I think I think they were being overly aggressive holding, but I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs defense is that good to start with. So they got to try to do those little things, and unfortunately just got caught, But Tom Brady, there's that one where he did throw an interception and there was a hold or something. That just sucks. But I was more surprised that Mahomes and the Chiefs offense was held to 0 touchdowns. That was unreal. I know Tampa defense is good, but I was there's no defense in the NFL that can't stop this team. You can slow them down, but to literally just stop them like that, I was shocked.
That offensive line was a joke, though.
Oh, yeah.
Complete and utter joke.
Yeah.
He had 2 seconds, and everybody was on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. And back to, the whole thing about whether or not it's a conspiracy theory, who cares? It doesn't matter. No one watches the Super Bowl to see who's going to win. We watch it for the storylines. There's no one who cares about who wins. You watch it to see, oh, man, is this person going to lose? And what does that do for his legacy? Or how does it affect this? Is he going to the Hall of Fame? That's why we watch the Super Bowl. No one really cares about the game.
Yeah, you got a lot of entertainment purposes too. You got the halftime show, the commercial.
That was garbage.
Everyone, pretty much.
Don't even bother me with the halftime show, Miguel. Yeah. Please.
But no, what's funny? People watch the Super Bowl. Everyone watched Super Bowl for the commercials and the halftime show. Me personally, I watch it for the sport, and I'm a fan of the game.
Well,
the halftime show and the commercials kind of blow. They're just
no kidding.
But I could care less about them.
You want to know why they blew? I'll tell you exactly why they blew. Because this past year has sucked. Yeah. There's no question. I don't care. I don't care if you're the highest paid personality in TV. Okay, you're not going to make this thing better. There's no
Yeah.
question. I hate to tell you, you could have as many good commercials as you want. Everybody's depressed right now. This is not a good time for a Super Bowl. And not only that, you got to figure in this. Mahomes is injured. Okay, the defensive lines on, what we're talking about right now is not up to par. Think about when Brady first came in, okay? When did he come in? 99, 2000, right around there.
2000. Yep.
All of us are old enough to remember that time. The excitement of that time as opposed to now is not even close. We were pumped to see Brady come in and to see what he would do after Bledsoe. Nowadays, you have certain quarterbacks come in and it's just routine. It's such a routine now. We see how, they're basically playing, and this is just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but as a fan, to see something like that and watch the game, it has not really progressed in a certain sense where it gets my attention. The games don't get my attention anymore. What gets my attention is certain individual players. And if you're watching that, then that's what's catching it. But nowadays, where it's just such a Disneyland sort of atmosphere, it's just an attractive thing. It's not necessarily people paying attention to the game. They're paying attention to the prospects of commercials, the prospects of halftime shows, the prospects of what it's going to do for the image of Mahomes, the image of Brady. It's not about the game anymore. And it sucks because that's what it used to be. We were all attracted to what the game brought. And now it's just a whole different story. It really is.
Yeah, I think like we back in the day watched it for like the sport and the game, like you mentioned, and I think like into the 2010s, everything just started becoming money. Everything just it's all about the money now.
Yeah,
It's sad, but it's kind of true.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, who cares if it's all about the money now? I respect that because now people are getting paid. And that's the more money that flows in, the better it is for everybody. We get better athletes who actually want to do the NFL now. We get better TV production rating. We get everything's better when the money is better. So I don't care what they have to do for money. I know it's going to benefit me in the long run.
I think the only thing that is going to be beneficial when it comes to money is the quality of the cameras. You catch certain things. You catch more as far as who's saying this during the game, what calls are being made during the game. I think that there's more of an attention span when it comes to the referees and when it comes to who's going against the rules sort of thing. But by that same token, what is it worth? Really? It just play the game. That's the problem, is that nobody plays the game anymore. They only play to the audience and they only play to the referees and sort of the business of it. But take that to the moon and back. You guys listen to me. You'd be like, Sam, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're wearing a hat. You look like a sailor. You look like you're about to go fishing or something like that. What are you talking about? Nobody understands
I
what
like
you're
that.
saying right now.
I'm a fan of the hat. I like the hat.
You guys know me, dog. I don't care. Listen, I don't give a Frenchman's onion if I wear this hat. Nobody cares. Okay. If I want to wear this hat and I want to go out and start a parade in Marlboro when nobody comes, I'll do that. What do I care? I got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Hey.
But no, hey, you know what? I'm just happy to have you guys on. My word, I'm so pumped. I wish I could hug you both right now. This whole thing sucks. I haven't
COVID.
seen. we haven't been in a room together in a long time. It's been a long time. I was searching through my Instagram today, and because I just dropped a new music video and song today. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Go check it out, everybody, if you haven't heard about it. It's called 25 on my YouTube at the Clapinator. And I was searching through my Instagram today, and I saw a video of me and Ben just promoting the Super Bowl. Like, we had just won the Super Bowl. We're at Ethan's old house, we're partying it up or whatever. And I'm just like, man, this is crazy how long ago this was. And I wish we could all be together. I really, really do. But, you guys understand where I'm coming from. Have you thought about what you're going to do when this thing has sort of subsided? I know Miguel has got his photography company, and Ethan's got big plans with his house and stuff like that. Obviously, you're continuing in life. What are you guys' plans for the future as far as post-COVID, after this is done? What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest. COVID really hasn't changed my life. I live in the South. We don't care about anything down here, so COVID has not really affected my life in the slightest.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna be honest about that.
I was down south a while ago, dog. Nobody cares about nothing.
No.
Nobody. Oh my word! I went into a restaurant. There's like 25% people wearing masks.
Yeah,
It's like, hi.
yeah, it's wild down here. So nothing's gonna change for me. So I think Miguel's better for that question.
I think this is like the new norm. I honestly don't see like not like a light at the end of the tunnel, like getting away from COVID and stuff, but I just think this is how everything's gonna go from now on,
Right.
And I think just taking it a day at a time, Like obviously we would like to have like big gatherings and stuff, but just to be able to do this too, like we're all in 3 different places, I think that's awesome, still kind of somewhat looking at the bright side and stuff and
Very fortunate.
positive. But I don't think this is going away anytime soon. So just kind of taking it day by day. Up north, it's a little bit different because I have been down south and it's like it doesn't exist. Like,
Oh, for
no
sure.
one has masks on and anything. So it's just like kind of crazy. But up here, it's just like totally different. Like they, not that they like enforce a mask, but everyone kind of protects themselves in certain places.
Sure. I go into a restaurant or I go into a place of business. It's like I put it on just out of respect. You gotta have respect for something right now, because if you don't, you're not going to be accepted as a part of society. It's just a reality.
I remember when this thing first started, I actually did not leave the house for like a few days because I didn't want to put a mask on. Like I felt weird having a mask. I was like, no, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. And then now, if you don't have one on, you look like the odd one out. Like it's just so
weird. Dog, I gotta tell you something, okay? So I'm watching a movie today. All right. I'm watching Beverly Hills Ninja. Okay. This movie came out in 97. All right. And you guys are young enough to remember the 90s. I'm watching a movie and the first thing that pops into my head is, oh my God, he's not wearing a mask. And that's the type of mentality that has come from this whole entire thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that we're watching, now it's become such a part of our lives that we're incorporating it into what happens at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember, I think like a few weeks ago or like last week, I was watching the movie. And in the movie, like people were just, there was probably like a concert or something and everyone was there. I'm like, wow, that's weird. Like, we're so far from that like life of what we thought was normal, where like normal gatherings, hundreds of people, and now it's just different. So it's just so crazy.
I know. And I wanted to ask you guys a question. So, as far as not to switch gears here, I hope that's okay with you guys if I go in a different area. I'm watching the top 10. All right. I'm watching the top 10 at my local watering hole. Just having my sandwich, doing my thing, whatever, about to get ready for bed and go do do it all over again. The work, the grind. And I'm watching the top 10 and I see a video of LeBron. And I see a video of him in such a way where he does a turnaround jumper 3-pointer. Now, mind you, I don't want anyone to think that, like it didn't take a genius to know that I didn't know LeBron was one of the best players in the league. I get that. I understand. But when I see something like that and it just gets talked about over and over and over and over again, I think to myself, this league has become part of the system. Do we really need to talk about how awesome LeBron James is? Do you have any idea, like Bernard King, do you have any idea how many backwards 3-point shots this man made? This is not a new thing. This is not a new discovery. Do we really need to hype this up like it's some sort of constitutional right? Are you out of your mind? You know how many turnaround jumpers that Michael Jordan made in his career? You're talking about 6 championships. Do we really need to make this a part of our life? That it's such a huge deal that LeBron James, the guy who's losing his hair like he's some 90-year-old and sitting in a nursing home
He got it back. He got it back.
Really? Really? Really?
That Rogaine.
Talk about this. This is ridiculous. In our day, everyone's trying to be Kobe Bryant. You don't need to be Kobe Bryant anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm too passionate, but this is ridiculous. This is what sports has turned into. It's turned into a festival where everyone goes up to a vendor and is like, oh, I'm going to drink the juice of being cool. Give me the Kool-Aid. Guess what? There are a lot of people in the NBA that are going to make turnaround jumpers and 3-pointers. This is not a new thing. But I see this video and I'm like, my word, everybody and their mother is hyping it up to 10. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
The thing is, like he's obviously he's the best. Everyone's going to talk about him.
He's great.
People get paid to talk about what he tweets about. People get paid to just do, this, that, and just to include LeBron James in the conversation. That's how they get paid. But that's the world we live in.
Right.
But on the same note, like this is exactly what people were saying in the early to late 80s when Jordan was coming up. People were saying the exact same thing. We've seen this before, but they haven't. Like LeBron's a different animal. That man is 6'9", 280, 35 years old, doing all of this. He's the best player in the league at 35 years old. We are witnessing greatness. Yeah. I think we need to stop comparing him to Jordan. He's not Jordan, but this is our generation's Jordan. We are witnessing athletic greatness.
Just pure dominance too.
I agree to a point. I agree to a point that he is great, but it didn't take a genius to know that when he came to LA. Okay, if you look at his career as far as the Cavaliers and now up to Los Angeles, as respect to Kobe, everybody knew that he was trying to bring full circle, like an homage to what was. But I think there are a lot of people in this business who think, oh, LeBron came to LA to shoot commercials and, be a part of the LA lifestyle. All of us are here to watch the skill. And we're here to watch how he has monopolized the NBA as a whole. And I don't have anything against anybody. If you like LeBron, great. If you don't, whatever. But I'm more interested, and I think you guys are too. You guys are more interested in the skill. And that's kind of what I wanted to lead into, is that, Miguel's podcast, if you guys have gotten a chance to listen to it, shout out, by the way. What is the podcast called again? You want to shout out your thing?
Yeah, it's called Mirrorless Podcast. Started off as a photography.
Phenomenal show.
Now we're moving into having different guests for different topics and stuff.
And buddy, from the bottom of my heart, it's a great show. Very strong first episode, and now leading into your episode, tremendous. Just as a buddy to a buddy. But not only that, it's interesting to see what his podcast captures. When you take pictures at an NBA game, say you're taking pictures, which moments do you capture the most?
I think I think I told you this on my episode, but the way I like to do is I like just to capture just kind of like intense moments, because it is like an intense game. But anything that shows like emotion, just storytelling, like whether it be like a guy reacting to a play, like either excitement or frustration, and then either a guy reacting to like a made 3-pointer or something, like any type of teammate interaction, excitement after a dunk, stuff like that. So like just being ready to go and trying to capture that like split moment, and because I think that what tells it the most, because you want to go back and look at photos and almost like be there again. Like that's how strong and
Absolutely
impactful I try to make my photos,
and I think, by that same token, when we go back, the whole box office crew, when we go back and look at tournaments and we look at games, I think that's what we focus on the most, is those times that we had where, everybody had a good shot or whatever it may be. The media doesn't focus on that anymore. They focus on what makes the content bigger. And that's kind of what I wanted to lead into as far as the whole NFL thing goes, the whole conspiracy. You guys are avid in keeping up with sports. Do you think that the media has really taken over as far as, what happens during a game, as far as like who gets the most attention? Because, if I can go back a few years, I look at the Miami Heat and I look at Shane Battier. Okay. Probably one of the most underrated shooters of all time. The guy had some talent, and you could tell. But the attention was on a completely different scenario. A completely different scenario, And I feel like that importance. Oh, you stupid little pop-up. Get out of here. I feel like that importance is kind of drawn away from what we're all used to, the way we all grew up. Do you guys think that that's kind of a thing? This could just be me. I don't know.
No, I agree to a certain extent. I think like social media in general and, media has definitely drives everything.
Right.
I think, just comparing it to like LeBron again, he loses one playoff game, the world is on fire. It's burning, it's done, the world's coming to an end. The overreaction of social media when LeBron loses one single playoff game is unreal, and it was that way every single round in the playoffs. And the same thing with Brady, like in the beginning of the season, kind of like struggling a little bit, but media just takes over, so it's just all like, and I think even with media, like anything can spread too. So I just take everything with like a grain of salt, because I don't want it to, there's so many like rumors going on back and forth. So it's just like,
it's a lot.
Kind of sucks in a sense. Like it sometimes takes away from the actual game, but It is what it is. It's part of it now.
Yeah. Yeah, really. It's
I don't have a problem with media because they get paid to do their job. Their job is to get interested or get people to be interested in their show. And so it's kind of on us. We give the media power. So anytime we complain about the media, it's really our fault because we're the ones clicking, watching all the things about LeBron. So anytime we complain about the media, it's our fault.
mm, yeah. Yeah, I think it's too bad because, you know, as far as the whole industry goes, it's for us, it was all about the game. It wasn't about whether it got you this commercial or that commercial. We come from a very different time to where all of us will be playing a game when we're in the game. What's the matter?
Except when you blow the layup.
Except when you blow the layup and you're a short little,
I was not in the game.
you're a short, fat little Irish kid like me, and you don't know what you're doing. You're like, you're like a T-Rex with your arms. I'm gonna get the layup.
I was talking about me blowing that stinking layup to beat Miguel. But
Dog, please, are you kidding?
That's a different podcast.
Really? You want to go into skills right now? You have no idea, dog. Dog, like honestly, for the people who don't know, Ethan was one of the founding fathers of this basketball stuff. Okay, you have no idea.
He was a spark.
Please.
In New Hampshire.
Yeah, and then I was like,
please, you have no idea.
Oh God, I'm 20 years old. I'm getting real fat. I gotta stop.
Excuse me?
Yeah, man.
What were we talking about? We're talking about LeBron in the industry.
Yeah.
So,
I think anyway. Is that what we were talking about?
Talking about the media.
Yeah.
It's it's funny because like my gram just passed away and we're kind of searching through the house and going through things. My grandmother and my grandfather were both collectors as far as like, my grandfather was a salesman. And so he collected things over the years and accumulated whatever. And I'm going through the house and, all the memorabilia that I've come across is very interesting, guys. I see a lot of these Wheaties cereal boxes with like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all these things over the years that my grandfather accumulated. It was a big deal in that time. A very, very big deal. And now we're in 2021. Do you think that it's going to, not necessarily become a media outlet to all these guys, but become sort of a conglomerate where people can really get back into the sport again, really get back into like, not necessarily putting all of their input into this one thing, but putting their input into how they view the sport. Because we've been around long enough to know that when we look at a sport, we articulate it to all of the players, not just these specific people who are glorified. We take a look at the entire game. This is not a new concept for us. And I feel like the younger people who are coming into the sports game are sort of saying, really putting it into perspective of like a Hollywood sort of atmosphere where they put all these other people who are better above the rest. Do you think that that's going to change, or you think that that's just going to continue and spiral off into something else?
I don't think it's gonna change, and I'm okay with that.
I don't think it's going to change either.
I'm okay with the fact that the people who are better get more recognition. It's not that the people who are lower are less important, but there's a reason why the best person at a certain job gets paid the most because they make the company the most money. And so it's the same thing in the NBA. There's a reason why LeBron's on every single commercial. It's because it makes them money. It's not about LeBron. It's about how can I make money. They're basically using LeBron, but LeBron's getting very well compensated for it.
Well, that's my entire point, bro, is that like they're using LeBron to prop up the industry. And that's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with, you know, like people like Glenn Davis not getting recognized,
Big Baby Davis.
Big Baby. It's like, and that was around our time where the Celtics, because we're all from New England, the Celtics won in 2008. They won that championships. I have a problem with the industry only recognizing these certain people who are going to gain them certain amounts of respect. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't like when people talk about anything, too much or put too much attention on just one thing.
That's what I'm saying. Is that it's like, I understand that they're great. The ones who are great are good. Like, do you think that I think that this podcast is one of the greatest shows of all time? No. Do I act like it? Yeah, because it's funny. Do I pretend that this is the top of the charts? Of course I do, because I don't care. But if I look at reality, there are a lot of people. Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that's a good show, but I've never listened to it.
Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, Unfiltered, The Views podcast, all these other podcasts that are completely higher than mine, but you try to blossom out of that and make yourself known. And that's what I want. As a fan, that's what I would like the industry to do. If they take a look at, certain qualities of this player, does he make a certain amount of 3-pointers during a game? Does he make a certain amount of passes during a game? Does he make a certain amount of like rushes during a game? It's all this stuff that I would like to be noticed. If it was me as a fan, that's what I'm saying. All of us recognize it because we've been watching sports for this amount of time, but I feel like the media just plays it up so much about just certain players, like a certain 3 amount of players. It's like, it's just crazy to think. And I could be completely wrong. Nobody could agree with me or whatever, but that's just what I think as a fan.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it's the same thing in the music industry too.
Absolutely.
The radio top hits and stuff, and
Billie Eilish, Post Malone.
But
is she good? I haven't heard her. I'll be honest.
Oh, she's tremendous. And she actually is good. She's tremendous. Her voice.
Okay. No, those songs are still great. Like all those artists are still really good, but there's still like so many hidden gems in the music industry that, like, what I'm saying? Just like,
Absolutely.
But I think that's where we get, which you can still appreciate, the like underrated stuff in the world. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going to be like the popular, but there's so much stuff that goes unnoticed or underrated, and you just appreciate those.
Oh, absolutely. Like, do you think that I don't know that Billie Eilish is one of the most phenomenal singers on earth? I do. I get it. But as an artist and as someone who's been a part of that music world for such a long time, it's hard for me to sort of think in my world, I think I have talent too. And the industry will only recognize a certain amount of people. That's what I have a problem with. It didn't take a genius to know that the Catch Me Outside girl probably didn't deserve a documentary or didn't deserve a record deal. There's no talent.
There's definitely people that get the attention deserved and then the attention that wasn't.
It's ridiculous. Do you think that if Big L was alive today, that he would be looking at these people going, oh, I respect them, I think that they're great? No, there's no universe where something like that would happen. There isn't. It just isn't, and it's unfortunate because there are so many good artists out there. And you know what? I'm not even anyone to talk because I listen to like all these Spanish artists that play guitar, infinitely beyond better than I will ever do. And they never got their shot. They just didn't. So, but anyway, that enough of my ranting. I'm sorry that I went off on a tangent with you guys, but if I didn't know you the way I did, I wouldn't even say these things. But I know you guys have seen the amount of damage that the industry does to a lot of these people, and there are a lot of people out there that are actually good that deserve a shot that don't get it. They really don't get it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The only thing that I will say is that the NFL has done a good job with Patrick Mahomes' career, in my opinion. I think that he's really, really good, and I think that he deserves to get a shot like that. What did you think about his playing during like the Super Bowl? If you look back at his career, like as opposed to then to now, what do you think he could do better in the future? Because everyone knows that he's going to continue. He's got what, a 10-year contract?
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. You know,
I think
makes
so
some
too.
crazy dang throws. You know, but we kind of saw in the Super Bowl that he kind of got exposed. You know, like it kind of not hurt his legacy, but it's like, okay, are you really that good now? Like, I don't know. There was a lot of doubt now that, a high power offense and not able to score TD. Obviously, we know offensive line is probably the most underrated position in like on an NFL team. So you don't got that, it's going to be trouble. So
Right.
like we give all Patrick Mahomes all this credit. Should he be, he really didn't show up in the Super Bowl, so it's kind of tough. But he's still a great quarterback. I think we'll see what he does for the next 9 years. He is under contract, so
That man was horizontal and hit some dude in the face. You could not put that on him. Like that man played it as well as he possibly could have. Like he's a god. He will go down as the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah.
The talent is incredible.
It's
with the
undeniable.
confidence. I've never seen anything like it. He was laying down and made a throw and hit some dude right in the face, and he
Yeah.
dropped it.
Yeah, he's pretty talented. For him to go down as the greatest of all time is a stretch, in my opinion. That's a stretch. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm gonna let you duke it out.
That's a stretch,
I
man.
mean, have you seen the man throw? He
Make
should have
your
been to 3
arguments,
straight
please.
Super Bowls.
Yeah,
He got
I
screwed off
have.
his first Super Bowl off that lining up offsides, and I guarantee he would have beaten the Rams. So that's one. He won last year. I think he wins with his healthy offensive line this year. I think.
No offense, but when's the last time the Rams won a Super Bowl, Ethan? Please. Okay. You're making an argument like the Rams had a shot. Okay. You're talking like the Knicks, okay, are going to have a shot. Okay. They haven't won since 1973. There's no way that their banners are falling apart. There's no way that the Knicks are going to go back to the championships. You think that the Rams are going to be like, oh, we're going to hop, skip, and jump over the Patriots and over the Buccaneers? No, it ain't going to happen, brother. I hate to tell you.
The Rams had a pretty good shot that year, right? Is that the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl?
Not no more.
Okay, that was what, like 4 years ago?
2018.
3-4 years ago. Where are they now?
Yeah.
Where are they now, Miguel?
They made the playoffs. They weren't bad.
It happened.
Jared Goff is terrible, but he's out of there now. So I believe in the Rams.
Please.
I do.
Oh, my
Aaron Donald's
Lord.
a beast, but like I think his like the thumb surgery that kind of messed him up.
That's like saying the
Big time.
Raiders,
And
since
then
they went to
maybe-
LA, are going to have a little comeback. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
I think it will. I think the NFL is going to be really interesting next year. So
I
many
agree.
new quarterbacks.
I agree with that. That I agree
It's
with.
going to be insane. But
It's exciting.
Yeah, I think obviously we had the same result with, no one wants to see Tom Brady win, but you have that like Belichick and Tom Brady like split up. There's a lot of good teams. It's pretty
Now
wide
let me
open
let
now.
me switch
Like
gears here
above,
as far as that
above
goes.
that.
You know, everybody was kind of interested to see how that was going to go. With Tom Brady and Belichick, they had a great repertoire as far as team building, as far as coaching goes. What do you guys actually think happened in that scenario? What if I had to ask you both individually, what would you say?
Tom Brady wanted some respect on his name, and Bill wouldn't do it. And I think both people were right. Bill thinks he's the greatest, and he is. And Tom also thought he's the greatest, and he is. And so I think there was a clash. And because they're so great at what they do, they wouldn't allow the other to win.
All right.
And so they
I
ended up having to
think
break up.
there comes a time where you just want to do something different. I think with Bill Belichick, one of the best coaches, Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks. So I think there was a lot of doubt in that mind because I think a lot of people were like, Bill Belichick is the reason. No, Tom Brady's the reason. And I think we saw a little bit of both kind of just like blossom. You know, um, I think just give her credit is due. Like I still think Bill Belichick did a phenomenal job with the Patriots, even though he didn't make playoffs, didn't win the division or anything. They literally have no one, and they were looking pretty good at one point in the season, but and then Tom Brady, the rest is history.
And
Like,
I agree. I
you take like
agree with that fact. I mean, here's my take on it. Is that Tom Brady's been in this industry since what, guys? Probably 99. When did he start coming into the NFL? 99, 98. Right around that time. So we saw his arc really develop and come in. And he's learned a lot within the last 20 years. And I think that if it's me, I think it's hard for Belichick to sort of accept that and have him come in on certain, topics of discussion as far as that. And, I think that he, like, to a degree, will understand what he's saying, but in the end, I think Belichick still wants to be the coach. And at the same time, it's never going to be about money. Tom Brady never needed any money. His his wife alone probably makes quite a bit more than he does in general. It's really about the sport. And I think that Belichick was kind of threatened by that a little bit. If it's me just giving my opinion, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong.
I mean, I think we would have all liked to see them, finish out together.
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of like Kobe and Shaq. If they would have stood together, like who knows how many championships they would have won, but they just split up. Like for whatever reason.
That's crazy. How, like, in our lifetime, how hard is it to believe that he's been gone a year? How much sense does that make?
That is
So
wild.
crazy. Me and E Whit were talking about this one on the last podcast that he came on. It's like, it's so crazy to think that we will never see them on a court again. Ever. Ever. So gnarly. But, by that same token, I'm happy that that sports can continue as opposed to, COVID. It sucks. Obviously, we all know that. Um, I got to wrap this up, so I'm going to say a few things. You know, there comes a certain time in people's lives where, like guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't have any family growing up. I had a certain amount of people that were around me that made family. We just we had certain things drop on us. You know, the box office crew dropped on us. You know, my band dropped on me. You know, all of this other stuff, and of course, how privileged I am to have you guys come on the show. You know, all these years later, after we've been through so much. Um, you know, I can't thank you both enough for coming on the show. It's awesome. You know, I've been doing the show a year now, and you know, things have happened. Um, you know, tragedies, accomplishments. I got big plans coming up for the show, and I have things that I can't announce at this time. I'm going to tell my boys off the air, obviously, because that's what I do. But I just, you know, I just want to say thank you, obviously, to my crew who has stuck with me from day one. You know, Miguel, E, whit. I love you guys. Thank you for coming on the show. 100%.
Bro.
Hey,
We love
we'll
it.
always hop on.
100%.
Always with you, bro.
You guys are the best. Yeah, go check out Miguel's podcast. Shout that out real quick, my friend. I obviously I forgot real quick. My bad.
Are you a fan? I don't know. I'm kind of.
I'm a fan. I'm subscribed. I just
You
can't
don't even know the
remember
name to the
the
podcast.
name. I can't remember the name. I got a lot going on, bro. I can't remember.
No. It's the Mirrorless podcast.
The Mirrorless. Go check out the Mirrorless podcast. Go check out Miguel's photography. And I mean, if you want to follow E-Whit and check out how beautiful he is, you can. I don't think he wants you to. But...
I would highly recommend. Must follow.
So dumb.
Oh my word!
I'm rejecting all followers.
That ain't true.
I don't need no fans.
No, come on.
I'm in it for the sport, Sam. I'm in it for the sport.
We're like
I don't
Robin
need no
Williams,
fans.
dog. We don't need no one. We're like
Right.
Fidel Castro. He only works with a few different people.
Hey, he was successful. That's all I need.
Anyways,
Yeah, bro.
my word. I love you guys. Stay tuned for next episodes. This has been a Why You Laughing podcast, and we're clear.